If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
DJ and PK, our question of the morning. There's an anonymous Big 12 coach out there who says BYU is the best football team in the conference with the best coaches and is the most physical team. What is your assessment of this? Case dismisses the whole thing. You can say what you want. In sports, you must prove it.
So that would be case dismissed?
Case dismissed. That's well done. He spells it C-A-Y-C-E, so that didn't even occur to me. Very nice. Well played. Boom, boom. There were a bunch of these that I just wasn't on the same page with these people. It's weird. Lately, the takes have been like exactly what I was thinking, and this one not even close. Vernon, way to go, Coach Jay Hill. Didn't even occur to me. Are you saying it's a good quote from Jay Hill, or he made them the most physical team?
I don't think that Jay Hill would be involved in this. I think that
agree.
It's within the conference.
Yeah, he's not an anonymous Big 12 coach anymore.
Right. Yeah. So I thought that's what I thought at first. Like, why? And then I thought, well, maybe he's congratulating BYU for making him more physical.
Well, Jay Hill improved the defense. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, but a big part of being physical is, O-line, run the ball, all that kind of stuff.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
But another big part is defensively.
True, but
complimentary football, buddy boy.
And that's why I'd go right to Kalani. That's one of Kalani's favorite quotes. He loves himself some complimentary football.
I love uncomplimentary football.
I think that's just the way a head coach. Everybody's on notice here. But you say it positively. Complimentary football.
I think that Jay Hill played a significant factor in BYU being really good, and it's one of the reasons Kyle quickly gobbled him up. Duh. Right? I mean, we all like the guy, know the guy, and that's nice and all, but you got to have results, and he had results.
Without question.
Yeah.
They were glorious.
Right.
Josh says, hey, let's hear from the angry Ute fans first. Josh does not want any of this.
Okay, well, if you can figure out if they are, then yeah.
Well, here's Tyler. Yeah, so it's a BYU coach. ...
No, it's not.
Ha.
No, the way these things go is they get an anonymous coach to comment on each team. I don't believe it's the same anonymous coach. It's different coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, when I saw that, Jay Drew had a piece in the Deseret News on it.
He did.
And that's where I saw it, that it would be, and this time of year, you're always looking for stuff to write so you can get the editors off your back. Because there's not a...
they need content.
Yeah.
All right, here's your content.
More than ever.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Literally more than ever because you're relying on internet stuff, and so they got to come to you, and that's something you can sell as opposed to the old days. You had the subscriptions, and if you put crap on a particular Tuesday, well, it didn't matter.
You saw subscriptions, and now it matters.
Right.
And you could fill the paper occasionally with some big piece got off the wire or something. And now,
do that every day.
Must have BYU, Utah State, Jazz, Mammoth content every day. And everyone
Basically, yes.
Yeah, everyone of those beat writers is hearing it.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then actually they do a really good job of generating off-season content. All of them do.
Jay spent some of the time in that explaining that he writes for Athlon.
But he doesn't do that.
But he
It's
doesn't
not the predictions.
get the anonymous quotes from the other team. So he made a point of saying,
your team.
Yeah.
I used to do it.
I don't know who it is. Somebody else did that part of it.
My guess would be it'd be somebody
Tech.
from Texas Tech
Yeah,
to put the heat on the Cougars.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And
now you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking, but nobody else thought that.
Well, they just don't have your sophisticated shrewdness.
They do too.
That has just
too.
molded through years of difficulty and hard times.
You don't need to do that.
I do for the listener. You already know it. Of course, I don't need it to do it for you. But for the listener to understand where you're coming from, I absolutely have to provide context. You're the king of providing context. The one time I want to freaking provide context, you don't want to hear it.
Steven is the anonymous coach on BYU staff. And
No.
I got a bunch of thumbs up and a bunch of laughs.
No.
We think it's on the Texas Tech staff.
Because they were saying they. He would say we.
Yep.
That would be a dead giveaway. We have the best team.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I still think it's Texas Tech. They have the most money. And as I said in the prior segment, follow the money. It will lead you to so many answers. And Tech has it and every year until things change or if and when they change, they're going to have the best transfer class because the kids are going to go for the money. I mean, duh. Randy Bennett, he did a press conference a few weeks back and moved from St. Mary's to ASU.
Basketball
and
coach,
they had a promising center, a foreign guy.
Yeah.
And they asked him about it last year. Hurley recruited him. And they asked him, he said, well, his asking price was too high. And so he went to Gonzaga. And if you wonder why Gonzaga's been good all these years.
There you go. Why do they always have the best big guys?
Yeah. And, it was before all this stuff. But, I mean, that's what people had told me for years. And so he went there to get more money. Okay, I'm all for it. They don't have as much money. And then they don't have their most money because at the press conference, the athletic director said, we're not going to be NIL-based. Which is saying we don't have enough money. If you had enough money, we're going to be
We'll be NIL based.
Yeah.
How's Texas?
They wouldn't quite say it that way because that's too seedy. You'd couch it differently. But essentially, if you have the most money, you're most likely going to get the best talent. And Texas Tech, now since the transfer portal combined with the NIL, they have had the highest ranked transfer class, and they're going to have it again this year. And so, Sorsby aside, they're going to be the favorite.
And they're going to be physically very tough to handle.
Yeah.
As we saw when they played Utah and BYU twice.
That's why it was such a big deal when they actually lost when the Devils beat them.
Shocking.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Well, because they had a quarterback who was good, and an NFL receiver, and a running back who ran for over 1,000 yards, and the receiver went to the NFL, the quarterback went to LSU, and the running back went to Texas.
There you go.
Because they don't have enough money.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
Cameron says it's not a weird take. BYU's been the most consistent team in the Big 12 the past couple of seasons and seem to have an identity where they are physical on both offense and defense. Yeah, I can see where Cameron's going with that. While I wouldn't agree that they are the most physical team because I saw Texas Tech be more physical 3 times against our 2 local schools here, it's also Utah and BYU aren't that far away. So if somebody comes out and says BYU is now the most physical team,
yeah, but
it's not
want
weird.
The best
I wouldn't
team.
say it.
The most physical.
Oh,
you don't
I
get
know.
a trophy for that.
No, but coaches, they get all warm and fuzzy over there. Oh, we're physical.
Well, I mean, football is a physical game.
Sure.
So everybody is.
Your O-line needs to push their D-line around and vice versa.
I want guys who can make plays in their respective positions. And that make plays in the offense is to move the line, running backs to get the ball downfield through their legs, blah, blah, blah. We all know what the story is there. So the most physical, great. As long as it leads to wins, I'm all for it.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
John says this take is spot on. Period. End of story.
I don't think they're the best team. I don't see how you can go. Now, they could end up being the best team, but here in May, I don't think you can conclusively say they are the best team.
Would you feel comfortable saying that about anyone, even Texas Tech?
Yes. Until proven otherwise. Which
Could
everything that you say months before is until proven otherwise.
Especially, I didn't know if you were going to, I'm defaulting to Texas Tech, or if you're going to, we largely know who the contenders are, but with the transfer portal and injuries, you got 2 wild cards. You can't guarantee anything.
I don't think the transfer portal is that big of a wild card anymore.
The teams is a wild card for. It's more about getting from the bottom to the middle or the middle to the top. Yeah. It's not about winning it.
Like when David Bailey went, he wasn't a wild card.
He was really good.
And he was a high first-round pick. So you look at these guys, and now, when I say used to be, I'm talking like 2 years ago.
I was going to say 3 or 4, but yeah.
Guys who were moving up. How will they do? Well, now we've had a great track record of guys who are really good at North Dakota, and then they move up. They had a defensive back with safety who moved up and was really good. So if you're really good at that level, it's not always, obviously, but there's a track record. If you're really good, and the scouting now is so complete and comprehensive that I default to, Texas Tech thinks this kid from North Dakota is really good because they're paying him a good amount of money. And so they've studied him, they've watched tape on him, blah, blah, blah. And so if those people who are eyeball deep in it, and some guys, literally that's their job every day, and they go to McGuire and go to the team's general manager, this player X is worth this amount. Yep. I have a level of confidence in those guys that they know what they're doing because there's been a number of kids who've moved up. Not everybody that Texas Tech brought in last year on that defense was from a high Power 4 team. There were several guys, the Romello, the guys are coming from lower levels, but they're really good. And they've been scouted, and they've proven it at the collegiate level, which even Big Sky, if they ever played Corner Canyon, would kick the crap out of them, right? We all agree on that, right? And so I have that confidence that these guys are good. So I think the transfer class, when it's said and done, I think you can get a good read on, okay, who are they and what are they going to bring to the table? It's not necessarily a big mystery anymore.
I get why you would say that at Texas Tech and at BYU, where coaching staffs have been in place for a while. But can you say that at Oklahoma State and West Virginia, for instance, just because it's 2 teams in this league and they have first and second year coaches?
85 new guys, as Barry Tremble was saying, then no. That's too many. Rich Rod had that very thing last year.
Is it more that? But see, that's the thing. Like, Dion the first year had a gazillion. It didn't work the first year. West Virginia had a gazillion the first year. It didn't work the first year. Now we'll see how Oklahoma State does the first year. I'm just wondering what kind of trends we should be looking for that tip you off. Hey, I can look at Texas Tech and BYU because those coaching staffs have been in place for a while and they've won for a while. And so when they say transfer classes are good, I believe them.
I look at the individuals. When Cade Uvalde comes in from Cal, I don't need to say that's a mystery. That's not a mystery. He's going to come in and he's going to play really well.
But don't trust the first-year coaches.
Well, they're under if the first-year coach is replacing someone who got fired, right? It's whether it's transfer portal or not. The first-year coach replacing somebody who got fired is always going to be a rebuilding year. It's just going to be with different guys rather than the same guys. Now, I know people are screaming at their radio right now, well, what about Urban Meyer from Ron McBride? Okay, yeah.
But that goes back to your point about, hey, we're having to adjust our expectations. All the rules changed 2-3 years ago with NIL and transfer. I mean, certainly if you get back before the 20s, it was completely different. But even in the early 2021, 22, it was different than it is now.
I expect all first-year coaches replacing somebody who got fired to have a little bit of a struggle. If you're replacing someone who retired or took another job,
you got a chance.
Yeah, like Morgan Scalley. I'm expecting Utah to do very well. Now, that's an unusual situation. He was, in a sense, fired without being fired. You can have your job, but you got no power.
Pushed out.
Yeah. I called up Kyle. I said, yeah, Kyle, I know exactly how you feel. I am down with you completely, man. We've been brothers from different mothers for decades. And
here we go again.
Yeah. You got your gig, but you got no power. Welcome to my world, K-Dub.
K-Dub.
That's what I have him in my phone.
K-Dub.
Yeah. And so, but that was an unusual situation, but obviously he left the program in a good spot. And so we're expecting the Utes. I'm expecting them. I think all three of us are expecting the Utes to be strong contenders in 2026. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I mean, they could get curtailed by injuries, as everything happens that way when, unfortunately, it occurs. But all things being equal right now, at the end of May, I'm expecting them to contend. And if they're playing in the Cowboys Stadium on that first Friday in December, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'm going to say, okay, yeah. I see it. So the transfer portal is not as big a mystery. But in your cases of those first-year coaches, as you appropriately point out, yes. Because there's so much newness. It's overwhelming new. And that's what's been good about BYU. And they've spoken about that. That year that they went 5-7, they've said they brought in too many guys. And so, all right, if you haven't done anything and then you do it, it's a learning experience. And I appreciate Aaron Roderick saying that, Kalani saying that. Be honest.
Yep.
And they were. And then the next couple years, it was about augmenting the roster, not overhauling it. And the results have been pretty doggone good.
Yeah, much better.
Yes. And I think because they also every year have either kids coming home from missions, obviously, or they've been home for X amount of months, and it's their second season, and so now they're ready to contribute at the level we anticipated when we recruited them 3 years ago. And so they don't necessarily need a whole lot of transfers because they're having probably, I haven't crunched the numbers, but they're probably having more new guys or more new guys who are ready to play after they shake off that mission rust than most programs. So they don't need to bring in an overwhelming amount. Just bring in where you have a particular need, and that's where they've kicked butt, where they've had a particular need. I mean, obviously, I just spoke of the linebacker, but clearly Bachmeier.
Obvious need there. That's even a better example than linebacker. Like they bring in
the
Kelly.
Position is more important.
They bring in Kelly really good, but they also had a lot of linebackers. Who's to say if they hadn't brought him in, would they've had bad linebacking play?
Probably not, but he was really good.
He was really good.
And he was fun to watch. Right. And he got drafted.
To the NFL. Away you go.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that.
I guess you could still say that's a need. You always need a guy if he's going to be drafted.
He's going to be an NFL guy.
If he's going to be drafted by the NFL, you need him.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is that he moves from Weber. We've had a number, and the list is, it's probably 150 deep of kids who move up, and they were really good at this level. And it's no longer that big of a jump. No,
it's actually because they're tracking it now. Back to your point about this is all brand new and they've just got to learn. They've tracked it across college coaches are tracking across all of college football, and you're more likely to get a good player getting somebody who's moving up from the Big Sky or the Mountain West to the Big 12 than you are if you get someone from another Power 4 league. Now, everybody sitting out there can cite examples of guys who busted moving up or guys who really excelled when they switched, but they're tracking the entire numbers and they're seeing you're more likely to get someone who's moving up. And I haven't had a conversation yet about have you tracked it by position? I bet they have.
I'm sure
and
they
I
have.
bet it's different for different positions, but still the trend is go raid the Big Sky in the Mountain West. Don't go raid the ACC and the SEC.
If the guy is good and he's played at a high level, at his level, it's no longer shocking. Scattaboo is a great example. probably as good an example
as you're going to find.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe that's the exceptional example. And
You
maybe,
can be a good college player without being a high draft pick.
Right. But they obviously struck gold on that situation, right? And good for them. I'm not sure they had any idea
that it was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought they had something or they wouldn't have given him a roster spot, but they didn't know they had that.
Right. And it turned out to be an overwhelming success.
Yeah. But this is starting to spread across sports because when you see like San Diego State had a good but not great season, they had a great defense, they didn't have a great offense, and the defense got picked over big time. The defense is scattered to the 4 wins, and most of them follow the money, have gone to a Power 4 school with way more money. So
yeah, and it's also like what Andy Toulson said with his son. You know, you were in a good situation at UVU.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wants to test himself against better competition because everyone's striving to get to the professional level.
Yep.
And so if you then do it in the Big 12 versus UVU, it's a better level of competition.
Right.
And whether it's the NBA or in
case of basketball somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, basketball
but either way,
is a little different because you've got numerous opportunities overseas, but you want to test yourself, and scouts are watching you. So you're basically all these things are now job auditions.
Yep, they're jobs early on. We'll see if universities finally declare them employees.
And
but they are
that's
employees.
The way it should be.
What? They should be employees.
No.
Oh.
Well, that's
the
another topic.
Oh, job auditions.
Yeah, auditions. Yeah. And then you are presenting yourself for future employment. And it used to be, okay, we don't want to totally blow off the academics. I get that. But that's up to the individual. If he or she wants to be academically oriented and get that degree, great. We all encourage it. But if you believe your future is at the pro level, then do whatever you can do to get there. And that if that requires going from a Weber State level to a Texas Tech level, then so be it. How would we possibly deny someone for having an advancement career-wise? Because that's essentially what you're doing. And there's a lot of kids, let's face it, particularly with the male gender, who are going to college with the intent of doing well there and then moving on to the professional level.
You can ask any coach, and they'll tell you when they're getting recruited, everybody thinks they're going to the NFL. And obviously they're not, but that's what they're thinking anyway.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that we make a sham of academics. Hopefully we don't. But for some, they're not really interested in that. I didn't go to Ohio State to play school.
Don't get quotes that have much more honesty than that.
It sounds awful.
But it's honest. It's 100% honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a quarterback. Every quarterback thinks they're going to the NFL. You went to Ohio State thinking you're going to the NFL.
And this is
there you go.
The system requires you to do that. You can't go.
You can't go to the NFL at 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wait 3 years.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
So am I going to blame Cardale Jones for that?
Somebody set up a system, and he had no other options.
Yeah.
That was the way it had to go.
Yeah, there's not in basketball. You can't go to the G League or go overseas or whatever like you can in that sport.
Not only will I not blame him, I appreciate the fact he didn't lie to me and treat me like I'm stupid.
But it still sounds seedy.
I get why people say that. I get it.
And the cardigan sweater wearing professors get mad at that.
They do. They do. But nonetheless, it's a system. Look at him. He's a
Go
really
smoke
good,
your pipe.
He's a really good quarterback. Just look at him. He's good.
Yeah.
I watch the games. Of course he wants to go to the NFL.
I wouldn't put BYU the slam dunk best team, but they're certainly in the mix. And really, that's all you want.
Is the preseason poll still gone? They had it year one. They didn't have it year two. I assume year three, they're not going to have it.
It's been done away with for the foreseeable future.
Which is dumb.
I know. Something to talk about.
It's a stupid poll.
If they did it, I assume it would be Tech 1, BYU 2 again.
Well,
I'd have no problem with that.
That's what I would expect, waiting for them to put it out.
Last year down there in Frisco, Barry Trammell decided if they're not going to do it, I'm going to do it myself. So he actually had me vote on it. I'm assuming he'll do that again. Yeah,
it's just that it's not the official one.
I get it.
But we all have an idea. And so what? Yeah. If your poll is ridiculous when we get to December. Who cares?
No, it's just a fun talking point.
Right.
It's something to talk about.
Right.
And you know it's going to be shaped by injuries and kids blowing up that nobody had any idea, including the coach. There's always somebody, a scatteraboo type, I didn't know. You always say that. And sometimes the kid doesn't even do it in September. Sometimes kids come on in October. There's an injury, they get a chance, and all of a sudden, wow, that kid's a revelation. We see that story all the time.
Yeah, I told you a few days ago about the Khalil Tate. Mm-hmm. When he won like Pac-12 Player of the Week 4 weeks in a row, and he wasn't even starting in September.
There it is.
Yeah.
Revelation.
Right. And they had injuries, put him in there, and then he blows up.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.